If you don't know, you're about to know right now. You're about to learn. Education. I'm Quindell Evans, bluepoetry.com. The word blue, the word poet, the word tree.com. And I just want to say, I know I will get back up if I ever fail. When I'm planning, I make room for mistakes, but I leave no room to fail. So if you don't know, anything about what I do, I like to do everything that comes to my mind, first of all. And just this year, literally 2018, right now it's December 3rd, 2018. So it's the end of the year. This year, a lot of things came to my mind. Last year I was writing affirmations every day, and this year I decided to put it in a book. And I did it, and I came up with the mouth book of messages of uplift to heal. This year I also decided to create some alternative ways to smoke. I call them health tea cigarettes. This is the label, health tea cigarettes. Feel me? I'm making some right now. Feel me? I got the herbs right here, them. Chamomile, mugwort, marshmallow leaf, mullein, and spearmint, and I put them inside empty cigarette tubes. You feel me? With this machine right here, we make some cigarettes. This year, what came to my mind was I also wrote a book called the Blue Poetry Handbook, which is a supplement to a poetry card game which I came up with last year called Pickup Poetry. I also wrote a few other children's books this year. I wrote a book called Afraid of the Dark, which is, helping children who are afraid of the dark not be. I also wrote a book called Meditation, children's book of meditation, which kind of introduces meditation to children. Meditation could be like a kind of an alternative way to discipline your children, You can, instead of punishing them and stuff like that, just make them meditate. Instead of sitting in the corner and be quiet, you could just literally do breathing exercises with them. And I also co-authored a book called Yoga with Kim with Ann Christina Spino. We, she's a yoga practitioner, and I'm a writer, so I had the idea of writing a yoga book years ago, and I got the chance to do it this year. I also thought of writing a book called The Drugs Book, which I'm working on right now. So I do a lot of things, anything that comes to my mind. That's just probably a few of the things, that I do for real. I can't even think of everything I do, because I just do. Word. Also did Golo this year, a monthly open mic that I do at the Word Up Cafe called Golo, which stands for Get Over Life Obstacles. I started that 2018, and that's been pretty good. It's been a pretty exciting event. And I think it created a wave at Word Up Cafe. But that's a little bit about me. I like to write music. I like to write music for everything that I do. So for the health tea cigarettes, I have a health tea song. For the mouth book, I have the mouth song. The message of uplift to heal song called Mouth for the Day. For the Pickup Poetry Educational Playing Card Game, I have the Pickup Poetry album, which is called the Blue Poetry Handbook album, where there's a song for each element that the game, there's a song for each element that's described in the game. So metaphor, simile, hyperbole, rhyme, alliteration, repetition, personification, oxymoron, and onomatopoeia. Those elements you can learn those poetic elements while playing the game. So there's a chapter for each of them. There's also a fitness card game too that I created. And there's also, I have a nutritional card game too. All this year. I think I told you this last year, but the Drop and Give Me fitness card game was created this year. Was printed this year. The Jolly Gover game called Pickup Job was printed this year. Yeah, so I whatever, like I do whatever kind of my mind. So next year, I plan on doing some things that came to my mind this year. Such as learning about, I've been doing a lot of studying of stock market, learning how to invest in options, learning how to invest in the stock market in profitable ways. So I plan on getting involved after, I feel like my studying is paid off. You feel me? Like my studying is stuck to me. Like everything I've studied, I can apply. Been studying also some other ways to invest. So I'm appreciative of life right now. Progress to me is happiness. But like I said, I wanted to say that I know I would get back up if I ever fail. When planning, I make room for mistakes, but I make no room to fail. That's an affirmation that will be in the drugs book. The drugs book is an acronym for discipline is your responsibility, understanding life breeds growth. Life is about growth, it breeds success. So, one more time. I know I will get back up if I ever fail. When I'm planning, I make room for mistakes, but I never make room to fail. What that means, first of all, let me say that, failure is what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between mistakes and failure? Because I feel like there's no difference, but there's a perception that makes it different. Because you could try hard to achieve something, and it doesn't work out how you wanted it to work. Mistake. If you just separate the two words that I hear in that word, it's like you missed the take. You tried, but you missed. You feel me? So you tried, but you missed. So that's a mistake. That's also could be seen as a failure. You tried, but you missed. So it's to me, that's the same. I don't know if that's the etymology of the word. I'm not an etymologist, so I can break down words for you, but that's just how I perceive it. So, you miss a take. You tried to take a certain route, and then it didn't work out. You tried to do something, and it didn't work out the way you planned it. That's failure. Mistakes and failure is the same thing. But what I feel like is that, failure is perceived as, something you can't come back from. That is a failure. It's quiet. Something that's a failure is perceived as, don't do that because that's, that's what you tried that failed. Failures kind of have that perception that's there's no coming back from failure kind of vibe. But if you see failure as a mistake, then you will realize that you just missed. And you could try again and make it. So that's what I feel like about failure and mistakes. They're kind of synonymous, you feel me? But it's just a perception of it and how hard we take it emotionally, how hard we take failure emotionally instead of looking at failure as just a mistake. You could try again and you may succeed the next time. So that's what I mean by this affirmation is, I know I will get back up if I ever fail. When planning, I make room for mistakes, but I never make room to fail. Meaning if you look at failure as a mistake, you're not going. You look at because the way we look at mistakes is I made a mistake, I can fix it. But we don't look at failure as I failed, I could come back. Failure is that it's over, that end all, be all, it's just over. But if you look at it as a mistake, I make room for mistakes and not failure. So I view failure as mistakes. Then we'll look at it as I tried, I didn't work, but I could try it again. But that's what I mean. It's like, I tried, I messed up, I could try again. So I make room to try again and again and again, but I don't make room to quit, is what that means. Like, there's no quitting when I'm planning. Like, I'm planning something, I'm planning to achieve a goal, I'm planning to do something. There's no quitting. Like, there's no, like, saying, nah, it's quiet. Like, there's no saying that it's over. It ain't over until I succeed type vibe. Like, that's what this affirmation is affirming. Is no time to you have no time to quit. Like, you know, like, for example, like, personally, you know, like, I used to sing on the train every day, you know, and it allowed me to support myself, you know, literally. I could pay my rent, pay my phone bill, to get food, like, live, like, go out, whatever, off the trains. And it got to a point where it took a toll on my physical ability, you know. I was drumming and singing at the same time. Like, that's just what I did. I drummed and I sang. I drum and I sang every day. Drum and sang. But my hand became very, very, like, bruised, painful. It was hurting very bad. And what I did was kind of just, like, cold turkey stopped. You know, like, just straight stop hustling on the train. Like, no, like, preparation. Just like, I don't want to do this no more. It's quiet. And what that did was shut down my source of income. Like, that was how I got money. And it left me, like, kind of feeling really bad. Like, I was kind of like, I don't know how everybody else feel, but I know with me, it's like, if I don't have a source of income and I don't feel like I'm progressing and getting somewhere, you know, then, like, it could take a toll on your emotion. Like, I don't know, like, if I'll be able to afford this and stuff like that. So literally, around that same time, I was living in my sister's crib. She told me she didn't want me to stay there no more. So now I'm no longer hustling on the train, and I don't have a place to stay. So now it's like, I gotta go stay with my girl. That doesn't make me feel like a man to be staying with my girl. Like, that's not like, I'm not like, ooh, I'm happy to be rent free, living in someone else's crib. Like, that's just not me personally. So it's like, I just felt all different types of, you feel me, like, ways. I felt all different types of ways, you know, all different types of energies that I wasn't, you know, I appreciate having a place to stay and somebody offered me a place to stay, you know, but I just want my own place, personally. So, you know, I went from my own place to my sister's crib. I knew it was going to be temporary, but I didn't know she was going, like, I'm saying, like, I think we had an agreement that it was like, you know, like 6 months or something like that. And we had an agreement on a little amount of time, and then she just, like, switched up and was like, I want you out by this date. Like, earlier than expected. While I was, you know, just finished writing my book. The mouth book, Message of Uplift the Hill. You know, was working on dropping Give Me Fitness, pick up job, working on these projects that can help me fund myself. And that happened, like, at the worst time ever. You know, that happened at the most convenient time, you know, I'm speaking sarcastically. So, you know, now I'm, like, having to find different ways to support myself. But the whole point of me saying this is when I stopped hustling on the train, I broke my drum. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. But I always felt like, if anything, and I really need it, I'm going to hop back on the trains. I'm going to hustle on the trains. That's what I want to do, if anything. Like, So when I got the chance, I bought another drum and went back on the trains because I make room for mistakes, but I make no room to fail. Like, I'm not quitting. If I need to, I have things I need to fund, things I want to fund for my business, for my source of income. You know, I have goals. Still have bills. So it's like I knew, like, if times ever get hard, I just get back on the trains because I make no room to fail. Like, it ain't over. Like, I'm not going to just like go broke. I'm not just gonna go broke and be sitting with my girlfriend broke with no way to support myself, feeding off somebody else, eating her food and like, just nah. I'm just not with it. So I wanted to support myself, and personally, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. That's just personally. I ain't hating on anybody who want to work a 9 to 5. Get it how you live. As long as you happy and you doing the best you can. If you work somewhere and you like putting in your all, like, that's important. You feel me? So like, that's a good thing. But that's just not me. That's just not what I want to do. I want to, when I get up and start my day, I want to work on things that I like to work on. I want to work on things that, when my creativity is sparked, I want to work on it. Like, I want to develop it. I want to do what comes to my mind. And I know if I have to get up and go to work for someone else, it might be a little draining. It might be like, I wanted to actually do this. So like, I'm not against jobs, because if a push comes, like, I actually want to work one day. Like, I want to, be a teacher one day. Like, in the school. I want to retire from doing all of this stuff one day, and then go to a school and be like the coolest teacher one day. So that's still a dream. So it's not like I don't like jobs. I don't like working for other people, taking orders. It's not that. I just don't. In this point in my life, I have so many ideas that come to my mind. And I had an idea earlier, and it's like, I'm gonna do it because I thought of it. So it's that. It's just I have ideas that come to my mind, and I want to spend time working on these ideas. And I feel like, for me, that working for someone might be distracting. And I'm not making no room to fail. I'm not making no room to distract myself from doing what I want to do. I want to make as much room as I can to work on myself, to work on my goals, to work on my vision, to work on the ideas that come to my mind, because that's what I love to do. And on this road, there's been plenty, like, times I failed. There's been plenty times that I wanted to start a project, didn't have the money, raise the money, find out it wasn't enough, and it's like, alright, I'm not gonna quit though. For example, to pick up poetry, educational playing card game. Right now, it's in a stage where it costs like $1.75 to get a pack of pickup poetry cards, but I have to buy 1,000. So that's $17.50 plus shipping from the manufacturer, which 1,000 decks is a lot of money to ship. 1,000 decks of cards are gonna, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a heavy package, and it's coming from across the world. So when we first found a manufacturer and stuff like that, the price, he gave us a price, and we saved up for the price, went to order it, found out it was that price that we got plus additional fees that we didn't know about, that were like literally $1,000 plus, and then you're like, whoa. So we had to like, restart. Like we had to reallocate how we were gonna get the decks. At the time, I say we because at the time I was having meetings every week and I was working with my frat brother, Kevin Perry, and he was assisting me, like on half of me funding projects, um, and he was, like helping me out with a lot of things. And he went off to law school, so now I'm doing pretty much the same thing Dodie. Like there's no more meetings, there's no more people to assist me at these things, so I'm doing it Dodie. Um, so I'm funding the project Dodie now, and that's another example of there's room for mistakes. Even if I'm working with somebody and then I would, now things happen and I have to work by myself. I'm not gonna quit. It's no failure. I made a mistake by even allowing. Not a mistake like it's a bad thing. I want to regret it or I take it. I want to take it back or I regret it. But a mistake in the fact that it's just I tried and I missed. So I made a mistake by even allowing myself to depend on someone to go half on funding a project. So, but I appreciated it. I still appreciate it. But so what happened was now I got to fund the project Dolly, so it's like $2,000, and it was times I had the money, spent it on other things and stuff like that. So it's just like now I'm there right now where I'm raising the funds for this pickup poetry education to playing card game. And I'm not gonna look at it like, oh, I don't have nobody to help me, da 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 da. Like, I'm not gonna look at it as like, why do I have to fund it by myself, or like, how am I gonna raise this money? I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just every day, like, every day I'm saving up little by little. So like, hustling on the train is one of those sources of income that I use. Even though I said I wasn't gonna hustle on the train no more, I'm doing it because I have goals and I don't want to work a job. I do have certain jobs, that I do, such as I work for this nonprofit organization teaching at Rikers, but their payment schedule is like literally once every 2 months. So, I'll wait. It's supposed to come once a month, but sometimes Jones come. It's weird, like, and it's not like a lot of money anyway, but so that's kind of like something, a job or some other source of income that I do, some other source of income that I have to support me and fund my projects and stuff like that. But the payment is not consistent. It's not timely. So it's very untimely. It's not something I know it's coming this day and I can use it. It's not persistent, with when it's coming. So I'm like, I don't really, like include that, like consciously. It's like, I'm not even sure when I'm gonna get it. So it's like, I, so I do other things to support myself, because there's no quitting, there's no failure, there's mistakes. But I use mistakes and failure in this term, and I use mistakes and failure in this way to exemplify, to personify, to explain metaphorically how failures are mistakes, But in all actuality, I feel like there is room for failure. Like, there is failure, but it's just how you perceive it. So it's like, I just want to reiterate that. Like, there is failure. I make no room for quitting. I make no room for giving up. I make no room for bailing out. I make no room for copping out. That's what I mean by failure. Like giving up, quitting, copping out. Just bailing out. That's failure. I make no room for that. I make room for mistakes. I make room for trying again and again. I make room for not having it at one point in time and then having it later on. I make room for trying something one way, it don't work, trying it again another way. I make room for, like, even if I say I'm not gonna do something, I might do it because that's what life is about. It's about accommodating and adapting to the changes that you need in order to grow. A lot of the times what we say we won't do, we kind of need to in order to get somewhere. Like, I would never have a friend who's gay. But then it's like, I'm not gay. You know, I'm not gay, but I'm not a homophobe. I might have said that when I was 15. Like, I don't want a gay friends. Like, but then life goes on and you meet someone, whether it's a male or a female, that is gay, but you friends because y'all work together or because y'all met him was cool or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't think I have any gay friends right now, but maybe, I don't ask people their sexuality, their sexual preference, but the whole point is, it's like, the limits, like, someone who says that might meet someone who's gay, I think that's like a homophobe thing, like, they think they might be interested in them or something like that. I don't have that fear, like, the gay person's gonna be, the gay guy is gonna be interested in me, like, that's not my fear, like, like, I think it's about how you come off. Like, I'm gonna come off like, this is me, this is you do you, I do me. Like, you don't play around. But so, like, that's not one of my fears. But that it might happen that, like, someone who says that might meet someone who is gay and not interested in them, but they're homophobic, and that person can be, that person can be someone who might be able to put them on to a network that they need to succeed in a certain area, but because they're that way, it holds them back. So I could be on some, I'll never hustle on the train again because I don't want to. But the funny thing is, when I did hustle on the train, after not hustling on the train after a while, first of all, my hand healed up completely, like it was callous and bruised everywhere, and it was painful. I could, like, certain guy I couldn't even pick up, or a certain time my hand would just be throbbing, felt like it was just, pain all through it. But another thing is, I met certain people on the train that put me on to certain things. Like, I met certain people that had some certain connects. And I feel like that's how things are. In those times where you're ready to quit, but you push, that breakthrough is what is very powerful. It's like great things happen because you push through. So I think that's like what this affirmation also exemplifies as well. It's like, go ahead, make mistakes. Go ahead, fall. Go ahead. Get back up though. Go ahead, fall. Go ahead, fail. Go ahead, make mistakes. But try again. Get back up and try again. Like, and it's like, it's like, it's not like this is life. This is not like a gambling addiction or a drug addiction. And we're not talking about negativity. Like, we're not talking about negative things. Like, like, when I'm drinking, I make room for, I make room to take days off, but I'm coming back. I'm gonna just get drunk tonight. Like, it's not that. It's not like a negative thing. This is life. It's like just dreams and goals and visions you have. You make room to, you might procrastinate one day. You might be lazy one day. You might not feel like doing it one day and you don't. But when you come back harder one day, it's gonna pay off. You feel me? And that's what it's about. It's not like, like liquor. You drinking liquor, it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off in your liver. Your liver is gonna, like, not quitting. Like, not failing at that, and not making that mistake. The mistake of letting it go for a little while. If that's what you want to call a mistake. So, like, yes, fail at drinking liquor. Fail at doing drugs. Like, these are the type of failures you should want to fail at. But when we talking about goals, dreams, visions, and ideas and creativity and living out what you are destined or you feel like it's your fate or it's your purpose, keep going. Like, no failure. Like, okay, mistakes. You feel me? And that's what this is. Like, it's gonna pay off. I heard somewhere life is not like a casino. At a casino, you could try hard and hard and hard, and you lose. You go home broke because you ain't give up. You was just there all night gambling your money. After a while, the house is gonna win. If you're gonna play like that, you're supposed to get your money and get out. But if you want to be in there all day, casino gonna win. You lose. But life is different. Life is the opposite of that. You gamble on your dreams and goals long enough, you gonna win. House gonna lose. You feel me? So I know I will get back up if I ever fail. I know I'm gonna win if I ever lose. I'm planning I make room for mistakes, but I leave no space to fail. I leave no room for failure. You feel me? Like, I know I'm gonna miss a few shots, but I'm gonna keep shooting and I'm gonna make them. I'm not gonna miss every shot. That's not possible. If I shoot every day, all day, I'm gonna make one. It's just that simple. I don't care who you are. You can't be the worst shooter in the world. You're gonna make a shot if you keep shooting. You know? That's what this affirmation is about. I don't care if you're the worst at whatever you do. If you keep trying, you're gonna succeed. And that's how I feel. Like, it's like I can't give up. Can't stop making music. Writing a song today called Golo, Get Over Life Obstacles. You know, for the open mic that I started in January. The monthly open mic. Started in January as a symbol, and I'm just writing a song. I like to write a song for everything that I do. I wrote a song for the healthy cigarettes. I wrote a song for the mouthwash. I wrote a song for the Blue Poetry Handbook. I wrote a song for... I'm writing a song for Golo. I wrote a song for the Blue Poetry. You know what I'm saying? The Pick Up Poetry playing card game. I wrote a song for everything that I do, you know? So, like, there's no room for failure. There's no room for quitting, you know? And I think that's kind of what pushes me personally, is music, you know? A lot of times I feel like I don't know where this project is going. I write a song and it's like, oh, yeah. It gives me, you know what I'm saying, a nice boost at it. So that's what I like to do because I can't make no room for stagnance. You know, I don't like to be stagnant. I don't like to feel like there's no movement. I like progress. So that's what this affirmation is about. Progress. You know, always be progressing. Never be stagnant. Never give up because when you keep pushing, success is inevitable. Success is inevitable to those who never stop. You know. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for bumping out with me. You know. If you if you feeling this, you wanna rate it, thumbs up, 5-star, leave a comment. Email me bluepoetry@gmail.com. Instagram bluepoet in the word tree. That's BLUEPOET. That's 2 T's. You know, let me know how you feel about it. Because I know you feel some way. You know, something. You gotta feel something, whether you feel bad or good. So much love, y'all. Make no room for failure. No quitting.